I think it's D-Day for the National Treasury Chief in Minister Mthuli Ncube tomorrow when he presents the supplementary budget for the year 2020. Obviously, it was expected from various sectors of the economy that he presents this budget, especially on the back of the strain that the National Treasury has suffered over the last couple of months, given that year-on-year inflation has gone up by more than it's gone up to around 780% year on year, which obviously means that what the National Treasury had budgeted for 2020 was obviously going to be insufficient to carry the country throughout the year. Last year, the minister presented almost a 30 billion Zimbabwe dollar budget, and against the backdrop of rising inflation, whereby the government had to increase salaries of civil servants on many occasions. And obviously with many infrastructural projects which have been carried out by the government, especially the Ministry of Transport on the Harare-Beitbridge Road, it was expected that the resources set aside by the country were not going to be enough. But obviously consumers are expecting that the tax-free threshold should also be increased, given that the salaries have also been adjusted over the course of the year. So consumers, they expect a huge relief from the minister to at least increase this tax-free threshold. What is also going to be of focus is how the minister is going to come up with measures to ensure that this country recovers from the pandemic, which obviously made the government to put the economy under lockdown. We went into a national lockdown since end of March. That obviously means there's less economic activity, and the revenue base, or sort of to speak, or the revenue streams have also become limited, which means that in view of limited credit lines, it means we need to come up with other measures to ensure that we raise more taxes in order to finance any other forms of spending that we may need. It's also going to be seen how the minister is going to come up with a very sustainable wage structure for civil servants. But amid this COVID-19 pandemic, more resources have obviously been diverted away from other key economic sectors so that they can go towards dealing with this pandemic. And in view of very limited available sources of revenue, especially from the international community, it is also expected that the minister has to play his cards right to make sure that he comes with a balancing act and also finance especially the health sector, which is now critical, so that at least we can deal with this pandemic. How is he going to also provide relief for the frontline workers, especially the nurses and doctors?